Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's put some injectors in it today. What's up, Classic? Thank you. You start working on this fuel system. Start getting it plumbed, but I don't know I don't know who to go with. As far as lines and filters and regular, I just don't know what to do. Got one company that said, "Oh yeah, we'd like to get on board and help you," and then they ghost you. Well, they probably ain't gonna get my work. Ain't gonna get my promotions or whatever. It's not like I was asking them to help me with the whole thing. Okay, give me a discount. I wasn't asking for free parts. So did you buy that MG that you were looking at? And fuel line's gonna be awfully close to that firewall. I got that engine as far forward as she's gonna go. She's locked out. Screwdriver poking my leg. It's like the ones that are gonna go on there. I'm gonna have to go find me a couple of O-rings. That ain't good. Good at all. Really don't like using these caps, these extensions. To me, it's just always another joint to leak, but I don't feel like spending $600 on another set of injectors. I'll stick with the shorties. The extensions, I just gotta pay attention. What we put on there. Chase that one down in a minute. I'm done with the buffer, man. That's on you, man. That is on you. My back hurt, my arms hurt, everything hurts. Uh-uh. I gotta go find a couple of O-rings. I know I got them in my stash somewhere, but Daryl, you've seen my stash. How well organized it is. I'll be looking for a month. Yeah. That's actually surprising for you because I didn't think you even knew what the word sit still was. I didn't think that was in your vocab. You know, like that other swear word, day off, you know? Ah, hold on. Get Mr. Grabby here. Fingers ain't working, my hands are still hurting. Got the brakes on my mom's van today. Do that later on. Chris, what's up? Not funny. What's up, G-Body? It's not been 3 days. 2.5, 2 3/4, but not 3. Get it right. No, that's fine. Oh, I love fuel injection. Hurt. Well, good gracious. Oh, man. Chris, you're worse than trolls. Daryl, I'm gonna try to go down Saturday. I don't know yet. Everything's so up in the air. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. Be straight with you. I don't know how I'm gonna fit any kind of wiring on these things. There's just no room. This is kind of what I was wanting to figure out today. tell you right now, the wiring is not looking good.
Just all the zip ties we have,
I got some smaller ones over here.
I mean some big ones.
I don't have no big ones. Yeah.
Alright.
I have to do it like that. Let me show you my situation here. Alright, this is what we got going on. Alright. Look right here. When you spin this in, there is no room at all for any kind of electrical connection, and even with the ones that are up here. So I might be able to turn them sideways a little bit and then bring all the wiring up through the bottom of the intake and get it to work. That's as you can see, the brackets are already might have to bend new brackets up and get a taller injector for it too. That might help. Might help. I should have kept it simple and stayed with the old intake system. Be quite honest with you. Chris, if you want to come up. Chris, if you want to come up and play with this, you can come up and play with it. Hey, it'd be like being back down there at Daryl's. Trying to work and all he wants to do is throw wrenches at you. You know what I mean? No, that's kind of what it's looking like I might have to do. You have to start ordering fuel system. I gotta get hoses and everything. I gotta run a fuel system yet. Gotta find the fuel ones that I dropped. I got a feeling I know where they're at. I got enough on here right now that I think I can. Like I said, I'd like to be able to see how these wires have got to run up through here. Ah. Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta find this O-ring. Found him! Give you guys a raise. Okay, hold on. Let's catch up here. Okay. I tell you what, you take a blower and a whiz wheel to that hood, I think somebody on this chat might get a little upset. Okay, let's see. Dipstick in the shop. Oh, really? No, no. Daryl, hold on. Let me show you the one I was looking for. Went and bought this yesterday. Remember I was telling you I was trying to find one the other day that I thought was down there? Looks just like this, but it's metal tube. That's what I'm trying to find. Hold on. Is that rusty? I don't like how they changed all this stuff. Oh, okay. Well. Watch the skyline.
It's cold out here, Adam.
Yeah, it is. A and B testing. What's A and B testing? What's A and B? So yeah, I went to Summit yesterday, and I'm chasing problems. Hold on. I don't know why. YouTube had to go and change everybody's information. The way they show up on your things. You can. Rusty, I'll actually give you a call later on, and I'll tell you how to do it. I'll walk you through it. But yeah, it's just you got to go in and edit something. I forget exactly where. What's up, Fisher? Rusty, did I send you that? Did I send you that picture of that guy down here that's got that 3/4 ton unibody Ford pickup? Daryl, you're a brave man, getting ready to make a road trip tomorrow or in the next couple of days and gonna go eat Skyline, so, yeah. You're definitely, I would say adventurous, maybe? I wouldn't do that. Not at all. I've made that drive with an upset stomach from Fancy Gap all the way back to here. And I'll tell you what, that is not a fun, that is, you know, them exits can get far and few between up there on 77. I'm not sure how you're dropping through. But I know the way I go down 77 and through Mount Airy and Fancy Gap. You get late at night, some of them gas stations ain't open, and when your stomach's messed up and your butt cheeks are quivering as you're trying to make it to the next exit, it is an uneasy feeling, I must say. It is an uneasy feeling. Actually, he's probably just looking for an excuse to go to Cazadores anyway. Jackers are sharp. Dent in my hand. Yeah, 18 ounce for 20 bucks. Dude. And it's probably good because I've had their food. It is good. But still, where are you going to find an 18 ounce steak for 20 bucks, let alone a steak dinner? I ordered a crappy pizza last night that was 20 bucks. feel like the count on Sesame Street. One injector. Two injectors. So what's everyone doing for Halloween this year? I was gonna dress up as a Ford and actually run. So you were cutting it with a fork and it was well done. That's pretty good. Hey Daryl, did you get the Hummer back? All right, man, take it easy. Don't leave me in here with Rusty. He hits me. Hey, Gary. I think that's how this is gonna end up working. Alright. So let me explain the situation here. Olivia, how you doing? Man, you're rough. Alright. So I want to run that style of coil cover. I had to shift this out, which I've made adjustments, got this all lined back up. Now, the problem I'm having is alternator is going to end up hitting the coil pack ain't gonna work anyway, but the alternator ends up hitting the tops of the covers. So I have a few options. Went out and picked this bracket up yesterday. Got two of them. Now I could either run it like this, and I think that's going to give me enough clearance. But it puts the alternator higher than it does over there. Or I can go this route. Either way, I got the clearance I need now with these pieces, but the question is how do I want to run it? You can see drastically lowers. Alright, so that drastically lowers that, okay? Brings everything a little bit more in line, but now I'm back to the problem of I still got a clearance issue in the back of the alternator. It's still going to hit the top. So I can stack them like that. So I'm thinking up high because when I don't, I like how it kind of makes it proportionate this way, but it gives it a really goofy look right here. So I think I'm just going to run it up high. And that's going to be the way I'm going to do it. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same way. I kind of like that one too, you know? It equals everything. It evens everything out. The gap looks a little more correct under the bracket. It doesn't look so much like more of an afterthought. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll run it like that then. Alright, let me get a wrench. Now, well, I hope that clears the hood. It's kind of up there. close this hood real quick, see what it does. What up, Jeremy? JG? I still gotta adjust it. I think it should clear just fine. Plenty. Plenty of clearance. Alright, so I'll paint them up and that's how we'll run it. Now I gotta build spacers because, like I said, I don't want to run. All right, so here's my whole thought on this, and I'll show you what I'm thinking. All right. This side here, and obviously covers are purely aesthetic, right? So that red is the same red, or that red is the same red that we're using on the pinstripe. So if I mount this low and close, when you look at the engine, it gives you a thin, almost like a pinstripe look on the side of it. Now, if I were to mount the coils underneath, let's go back to this side. If I were to mount the coils underneath, we'd be all the way up here. You'd be seeing a lot of it, and then I would have all the wiring running down through here, and you would see everything instead of it being more like that, where it's just a cover and a thin red line. I kind of like the idea. I was going to take my coils. And hide my coil packs back over here in this back corner with a cover over them, and take my wires, run them down across the bottom lip of the seam up the transmission mount, and then snake them along here and then just drop them down to the plug wires. Looking like an 8-foot plug wire for each cylinder, which I went out and I bought a 100-foot spool of make your own plug wires. So that's the plan on that. yeah, I'm trying to keep I'm trying to keep all the wiring and everything at a very, very very little at all. Try to run as much of it as I can underneath the intake, um, down the side of the engine. You know, you know all the tricks, Chris. You've built them before. Um, Jeremy on here, he's JG. He built them before. He knows how to do all that stuff. Rusty just, well, Rusty doesn't know how to drive because his truck hasn't run long enough for him to drive it. We have patience because we're building them, we're working on them, it's fun. We're not fixing them because we need to get to the mailbox. Now, so I was talking to Genv out of the United Kingdom. They have the throttle plate that I need to run my linkage. So I can either run my cable down the side and shoot it across, hook the one, put a tie bar in between the two, or I can get Genv's plate that bolts right here, and you run your throttle cable up the center. It's got a bar on it that pulls it, and it's got two levers that pull down at the same time. Then, what I'd like to do on that is, once that's pulling, I want to come up with another design because right now I'm working on an interesting hood scoop to put into the hood. And it's all going to work off of like the Chevelle or the air grabber setup where it's got the little micro switch, the motors and everything else. And when you hit the gas, the scoops are going to open up. So, hey, Vic. So the scoops will open up. Now I'd like to put it on, what I'd like to really do is put it on like a resistor or like a rheostat. So as you hit the throttle, you can actually, your flaps will fluctuate with the throttle at the same time. We're working on that right now. And I'll probably have it made out of 6061 billet. I think it would be, you know? So, and I'm thinking of going with the, not the Chevelle Super Sport Scoop style that's supposed to be on the hood. I'm wanting to make my own, so I was thinking of going more along the lines of like the '68 Camaro. Anyway, I want to go with the '68 Camaro egg crate. That's what I want to do. So imagine the egg crate look with with doors on the floor of it that open up, and it'd be nice because if you look at this, when you close the hood, these intakes or these ram tubes line up directly below. I could technically build an air box and have cold air induction coming in right in. I've got an idea on how I could do the air box. And it would be something you could pop off when you get to show or do whatever. Then I also, man, just look at a lot of the stuff I found out the last week. They have remote. This is mainly, they had it designed mainly for, like the twin throttle body Dominator setups and stuff like that. They have remote mounted idle air control. I want it running by then. All these other things, I've got a year to get that. I didn't say the car was going to be done by December. I'd like to have it running by December. So I might have to organize a work party to get that done. Unfortunately, I really kind of wish I hadn't have gotten the fuel lines and everything run before I left Daryl's. Because it's really going to be hard for me to roll around and crawl around on the ground running a fuel line. Hey, Rusty, you just gave away what my excuse was going to be if it didn't run. I didn't say which December. Built a tank and a few feet, fix that. Yeah, but you know, Chris, like I said, I could, but I would rather just get everything plumbed and done once. But come to think of it, I do have a pressure regulator filter off of a Corvette that's highly unreliable. Yeah, I could do that without having to undo what I'm doing. That's a good idea, Chris. It's a good idea. I'm not going to skip on the wiring. I won't just throw it in or just get fired up just because bypass the wiring or whatever. I won't do that. But the fuel system, that makes a little more sense to me. Thanks, man. I think I might just do that. Plumb my system in like I want. But, you know, drop my return line block off to one side, hook my little external fuel pump up and go. You want to know how big my hands? Hold on, let me show you something here. Standard can of spray paint. Yeah. So, and here's the thing, and this is funny. This is funny crap. So, I don't know if you guys noticed, but my hand swelled up real bad just from the shaking of that, the vibration from that DA from 3 days of buffing. But here's the thing: I don't know if you guys have noticed, my hands don't open. They're that's as far as my hands open up. And you know, you can pull on them as hard as you want. They they don't straighten out. And then my wrist, that's as much movement in my wrist that I have. Same way over here. Just a little bit of movement, fingers are all they're stuck. They're you know. So I'm sitting here. Doubtful. God. Wait. Anyway, so I'm down here at my buddy's shop, helping him out, and he says, "Hey, can you go pull the? You wanted me to go pull the lights off of? I think it was a 2000. Yeah, it was an '03 F350 single cab, just work truck." He says, "Go pull the roof lights off of that truck for me." So I go down there and I climb up in there, open the driver's door, and they got that, you know, the handle they put in for your Ford boys because you need help getting into, because you need help getting into the car anyway because you're too girly to get in. But so anyway, so I'm standing up there, and I stuck my hand through the door grab or the pillar grab. I'll tell you in a minute. So anyway, so I stick my hand in there, the door grab, and the whole time I'm sitting there working up on top. So, and it's starting to snow. It was cold. So I go to get down. Well, my hand wrapped around the post like this, and I go to get down. I can't get my hand out. My hands grabbed the A-pillar, and I can't pull it out. I sat on the side of that truck for 4 hours till he got back. 4 hours. Yeah. Olivia, my hands are stuck. It's from the damage that I got in the accident. I had the lacerations that were in the arm kind of bundled the tendons together and everything else. So yeah, and this isn't the only time I've ever been stuck on. Every bad story I have involves a Ford truck. I had a dog pin me under a plow one time. Went outside to do something on the plow, and dog was bouncing around the truck, and of course I'm trying to grab something, the dog hit the joystick, and poof, plow dropped down. I'm stuck laying on the ground with the plow stuck on me. So there for a couple hours, doing that one. That throttle linkage broke on a 77 F250, it was a 75 F250 Highboy. We pulled the hood off, and I had my buddy sitting up on there. He just leaned over the engine, sitting in the engine bay, 60 mile an hour down the freeway. Not the freeway, but the back roads, working my throttle. No. This hand was in. So, yeah, this hand was in the window. It was on the pillar. And I'm on the driver's side, so I'm hanging outside of the truck. Yeah, no, the other hand's worse. And that's my dominant hand. Heck, my arms don't even straighten out. This. Shop shirt. My arms don't even straighten out. Hold on. That's as straight as my arms get. This one's a little bit straighter. Kind of hard to tell. Yeah, this one. That's as straight as my arm gets. Yeah, I took a pretty good beating in that accident. I really shouldn't be here. Chris, don't feel sorry for giving me a hard time. You can't get no worse than my kids give me. Oh, who else we got on here? Somebody just jumped in. Oh, hey, Jane. So, anyone got any questions? That's from, actually, Jane, both hands are swelled up. Real bad. That's from, Chris, I don't even want to know what you want to ask. Jane, that's from using that buffer for the last 3 days. I said, and I think I might have said in past videos, if anybody watch this or whatever, and they have questions on what it's like to not have a leg, what kind of things I go through, don't be afraid to ask. I will answer anything and everything. Because I don't hide nothing, I hold nothing back. I mean, like I said, I'm here to motivate anybody that's disabled. You know? What? Yes, it comes back like a boomerang. I have not lied to you about that, and I will show you one day that if you bend that leg, Olivia, and throw it, it will come back. Yeah. Got to get a hold of my buddy Vic. He's got the parts. So I'm actually what they call a knee disarticulation. So I have my full femur in part of the knee. So, and it goes all, so the leg goes into the socket. You know, the socket part starts right there and goes all the way up to here. But my leg ends right there. That's where my real leg actually ends. And if you notice, my knees bend at different spots because my legs are still the same equal length. Nope. And that is one of the reasons why I get around so well, because I have that extra long, simple science, levers. I got a longer lever. Makes it easier. It's also why I destroy shit. It's why I break legs all the time. Also shouldn't be using them as pry bars, but I do. What happens, you get stuck, you gotta move something, you just put it, heave ho. You know what I mean? What am I like when I've been drinking too much? I'm no different. I don't drink. Olivia, these Mopars will suck you into the blower and spit you out the exhaust. They are the same length. Yes, they are the same length. It's just. So, I'm fighting. So, in the accident, I broke tibia and fibia, which they're gone. I ain't gotta worry about that no more. I pulverized 2 inches of my femur in the center. That's when they put the rod in to the femur. I went through like 150 different surgeries or something like that in the hospital. So, trying to save it. And then when my femoral artery ruptured in the middle of the night, it kind of killed the muscle transplant. Like I'm missing I'm missing my whole left latissimus muscle out of my back. All right. Yes, it hurts. So they took my left latissimus muscle out of my back to transplant it and give me a new calf muscle. That was going okay. It was working real good. So it was like a 18-hour surgery or something like that. So that was all going good. And in the middle of the night, I ended up getting, I think a staph infection had set in, and it ruptured my femoral artery in the middle of the night. How I didn't die is beyond me, because it took me 45 minutes to get to the doctor, but in the meantime, I got my wife and the nurse standing on top of me, stopping the blood. So that's when they went in, took the leg off. But because I had the rod that ran the full length of the femur, couldn't remove it to a typical normal amputation point. So that's why they left the whole length of the femur. I also have pins and screws in my pelvic bone because when everything come in, it hit, the socket. The ball went into the socket and broke the socket off. And then all that other stuff. So yeah. Jessica was in the kids, we're in the car. So Jessica has 5 broken lumbars, broke her leg in 2 spots. Kids, my oldest was 2 years old, my middle one was 6 weeks old, not a scratch. So, and if I would have lost consciousness at the accident scene, I wouldn't be here. I woke up just before I hit that bridge overpass. Never lost consciousness. I was able to assess myself, see what kind of damage I was in, realize it was pretty dang serious. When you got bones sticking out the back of your legs, it's pretty serious. I managed to take my shirt off and tie a tourniquet onto my leg. So, yeah. Tell me about it. Sure, he was trying to get my attention a few days before that, but I sure probably wasn't listening, but he got it that day. He said, "Slow down, boy. You're doing too much." It's also why I got a good attitude about things, because I shouldn't be here. By all rights, I should not be here. Uh, I fight, I don't know why, but I fight some kind of lymphedema in my arms. And that's where that comes from. But you gotta also remember, I weighed, you know, this time last year, I weighed almost 350 pounds. You know, I mean, I've lost 90 pounds in the last year. So I was I was unhealthy, to say the least. But like I said, that's why you'll never see me, you hardly ever see me have a bad day. When I'm having a bad day, it's not all that bad. Like I said, I should not be here. So just the fact that I'm here, and you can't beat that. You know? I can sit around and pity on myself, or I can get up and get stuff done. Try to make things better around me. Surprisingly, no. You would think I would have, but I did not. No chest injuries. Because I had no seatbelt on. So if I'd have had a seatbelt on, the steering wheel would have come through my chest. But because I didn't have a seatbelt on, I went sideways, more towards the center of the car, and that's when the engine came through and knocked me backwards. What do you mean by that, Rusty? My case is one in a million where a seatbelt would have probably killed you. Seatbelt would have definitely saved them from an hour and a half's worth of work on cutting my wife out of the vehicle because she didn't have a seatbelt on. Actually, Jessica probably wouldn't have really been injured, but my kids had seatbelts on and in their car seats, so yes, yes, keep fighting, keep trusting. Yeah, well, I honestly, and you know what? People have asked me if I could go back to that day and I can still replay that entire day over in my head. So, just as we were coming through the Fancy Gap area, we stopped. We were talking. I was like an hour from where I had to be. I was honestly, I was really close to the Randy's place, right in that area. So, I cut my mouth last night. So anyway, um, I remember sitting there talking to Jessica, and she's like, "Well, you want to stop and rest?" I'm like, "Nah, we're good. I've only got an hour to go." And me and her both at that same time looked at a hotel. Should have took the sign. Uh, fell asleep shortly after. Had the bridge overpass. People say, you know, if you can go back and change it, would you have stopped at that point in time? Well, yeah, I would have stopped. I would. But would I change it to the point that where I would have my leg now? I say no. I think I would still rather be the way I am. What's up, Jess? Yeah, I know, we should have. But I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to lose. I don't think I'd want my leg back. 'Cause then to have it back means I'd have lost all the life lessons and everything else that I've learned, and I probably wouldn't be the guy I am today. Man, everybody's telling on me. Man, what the heck? Oh yeah, that's another thing I didn't say. That brings up a good thing. At one time, in the last 20 years, there was 1, 2, 3. There was 5 of us that were missing a leg on my dad's side of the family. It skips a generation. Chris, you're horrible. I'm not that expensive, Jess. Not that bad. Jess, the one is rusty on there. Y'all like to watch me. Being around me should be enough of a Christmas gift for you. Yeah, don't derail me as Rusty. Ford boy. See? Don't need to buy gifts. But I do have a Chris, she's been trying to get a cruise for a long time. Oh man, now I don't want to go home. I'm gonna go home and she's gonna be like, see, Chris said take me on a cruise. I don't. First off, I would do. I would do a riverboat one. Okay, not a problem. I don't feel like being around when a ship goes down and me having the only floating device around. People gonna fight over it. Uh, I'm not a big fan of heat and humidity. I just don't do it. So I don't want to go to no tropical island and this and that. I bet there is a reduced fee to go to Jamaica right now. Okay, now Alaska I would do. My aunt just got back from that. She said it was really nice. How about this? I'll make you a deal. When this gets done, this is what we're gonna do. We can get in the car in the summertime. I can not turn the AC on, so there's hot. We can drive it to the ocean. There's two. And we're cruising. Works for me. It's not lame. I tried. We've never been on a cruise. She wouldn't know the difference. It's the only cruising we do. I guess. What she'll end up doing, guys, is she'll end up taking my leg again and leaving me locked in a room until I finally admit to it and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong, and I go. You don't want to go to California. Justice for Jess. Is that kind of like the Kathy chair thing that you had going on there? Yeah, I'm sure you do. Hey, listen, you don't want to go to the beach with my wife. She'll have the entire beach screaming about imaginary jellyfish. She's known for it, she's done it. GV, what's up, man? Yeah, no, we're not wearing Speedos. Man, I'm getting a hard time on here. Hey, listen. She literally had the whole beach in hysteria because she saw foam in the water and said they were jellyfish. I was working on the car, and then some guy in Kentucky got on here and started picking on me. I've done a few things. Yeah, we don't do the speedo thing. See, I put a whole entire engine together today, Jess. That was nothing. Just that quick, I did that. Good Lord. This is horrible. Man. Jess, Olivia doesn't believe me that if you take my leg and bend it and throw it, it comes back like a boomerang. Hugh, you on break for the 10th time today, or are you actually home? Yeah, not all husbands are like me because, well, you can't get much better than me. That's why. I don't know. I've never weighed it, to be honest with you. 10 pounds, maybe? Yeah, I know your union. See, I am a saint. Titanium and carbon fiber. And a little bit of, I don't know, rubber looking stuff on the feet. Actually, Jess, what time do you work today? I'm gonna have to. 6 out of 10 of the times? Okay. So, I mean, it's a little better odds towards my end, right? I have 1.5. Not one, I got 1.5. I'm protective of that other half. Uh, where are you getting a cruise to for 5K this time of year? Because I know it's like summertime in them areas down there. GB, I think they changed it on everything now. Well, you don't trust me with the info? Ow. You're always messing with YouTube. I never said I would throw it away. I said I'd hand it to her and I'd make sure she got it next year. I didn't say I'd throw it away. Man, with friends like you, Chris, who needs enemies? Look what I actually put on the car. I actually got a car cover for it. Alright, Jane. I'm actually getting ready to, $20 to be quiet. You seen this? Man. Jeez. Alright, guys. Well, listen, I gotta end this. I'm in enough trouble. Um, we can thank Chris for that one. I gotta get putting brakes on my mom's van, so it's kind of getting late in the afternoon. Yeah, busted coming from Busted Radio. But anyway, Gary, um, like I said, I gotta get ready to get some stuff on Mom's van done, stuff like that. So, kind of gonna wrap up here for the day. I've been at this for about 2 hours anyway. So, everyone, thanks for stopping by. Chris, thanks for picking on me. It was fun. Um, Gary, GV, Olivia, Jane, if you're still in here, you guys all take it easy. Jess, you're still on here. Love you.